Here is Kelley. He can make out with his friends Dominique and Sarah in class just by using his mind. It's amazing that they're all so excited. Let's go back a bit to see where his power comes from. About 3 months ago, at midnight, an old van drove through the woods and a guy named Flüegger got out. He finds a human bone in an old grave, and then a magical bolt hits him and throws him off the side of his car. He drives off right away with a mean laugh. Next, some bad boys from Kelley's high school pick on him outside of a store. And they picked on him because he has pica, an eating problem that makes him want to eat things that aren't food. However, Kelley's bullies turn him over in a trash can and pour soda on him while his friend Dominique stands up for him. Then they record the scene on their phones and put it on the school website. Kelley feels bad about being made fun of like that in front of Dominique, the girl he likes. Kelley doesn't look good the next day, so he takes a pencil eraser from his locker and bites on it. He finds out that the video of him in the trash has made a big deal at school and that everyone is laughing at him. Kelley is sick because he only eats ramen noodles, lids, and erasers. When Kelley's mother calls a doctor to check him out, the doctor says he can't help him because he needs more than just physical help. A group of people gather around Flüegger in another place. As it turns out, he's a healer. His magic does work, even though he talked about snake oil. He does use his power to make money, though, which is a bad thing. Flüegger tells an old woman to stand in front of the crowd and show what she means. She walks with the help of a walker because her back and legs hurt. When he heals her, she throws her walker away and says it was a miracle. The whole crowd cheers, and Kelley's mom goes up to him and asks him to fix her son too. The next person Flüegger meets is called Red Elk. He tells him that he knows Flüegger stole his powers from an old grave, and that the magic will turn against him and kill him in due time. Flüegger doesn't listen to Red Elk's advice and instead goes to fix Kelley. Later that same day, Flüegger goes to Kelley's house, but while trying to fix him, he dies and gives Kelley his skills. Kelley is much more sure of himself and at ease now that he knows about his new abilities. Later that day, he talks back to one of the mean kids. The mean kid hits him, but only hurts himself. He has a piece of wood and tries to hit Kelley on the head with it, but every hit hurts. Kelley then gets a job at a pizzeria. When he gets home, he tells his mom about his new abilities. At first, she is shocked, but then she tells him not to tell anyone. On the next day at school, Kelley learns that if he eats something that belongs to someone else, it will change how that person feels. After that, while sitting behind Dominique in class, her scrunchie falls off and lands on Kelley's desk. He takes it, eats the tag, and then gives it back to her. He starts to dream about her and gets horny. Then he dreams about Sarah and she gets horny too. He and the two girls both have an orgasm in class. Kelley trips over his pants and falls out of his chair. He then runs away. After that, Kelley and Dominique are at a party with a bonfire. The bullies come up to Kelley, and she stands up to them again. She even laughs at one of them. Things calm down when Gus shows up. He is the boss of the soccer team and the father of 2 bullies. The mean kids see Kelley on the way home from the party, follow him in their car, and run him over. Being that Brett was driving, the magic only touched him. The others run away. Kelley is then caught up with by Dominique and Sarah. When they ask him what happened, he tells them everything. Kelley and Dominique eat cake and talk about what happened the next day at school. Police believe a broken airbag was to blame for the accident, she says. They start to get to know each other romantically when Dominique tells Kelley to ask her out. That night, Kelley takes out the trash at Grazi's Pizza, where he works, and Red Elk asks him about his skills. Kelley confirms his thoughts by telling him everything, and then he quickly goes back to work. Later, the bullies wait for Kelley to leave his trailer. When they think it's empty, they pull the wagon off its base as a joke on him. So it becomes less stable, and the gas pipe is ripped off the wall, letting gas into the wagon. Kelley's mother wakes up from her nap on the couch. When she sees she's stuck inside, she breaks a lamp out of fear, which creates a spark that sets off the gas, which blows up the wagon. Kelley comes back just in time to try to save his mother from the wreckage, but she's already gone. He is in so much pain that he falls to his knees as he takes her burned body outside. He later lies in a hospital bed and stares at the ceiling in shock. He is not hurt, but since he has no family, he will have to go to a foster home. Red Elk goes to the hospital to let the sheriff know that Kelley has taken some sort of magic power. The sheriff doesn't believe him, but Red Elk tells him where to find him when he does. Later, at the funeral for his mother, he leaves the crowd to visit Pfluger's grave by himself. Dominique tells him that he has to go to a foster home and that he will miss his mother. Then she gives him a kiss. After that, he eats a leaf from a strange plant that grows on Pfluger's grave and gets very sick. He learns from the sheriff that his mother's death was not an accident, but was caused by someone else. Kelley thinks that the bullies who were picking on him must have done it on the way to the foster home based on what the sheriff told him. When the bullies drive by and give him the finger, it proves what he already thought. Kelley gets out of the car and walks away. He is looked for by the sheriff. Kelley sees that the bullies are going to the creek and follows them to get back at them. When he sees them drinking beer and swimming, he takes advantage of the situation. He starts by eating a piece of one of them's shirt to make the magic work on him from afar. The bully then drowns when he starts to choke himself with the rest of the shirt. Kelley have to run away because one of them went to tell the sheriff. Later that night, when Dominique looks out the window at night, her mother tells her to close it so Kelley doesn't get in. Kelley shows up at the window right after she says this and leaves her daughter's room. Dominique tries to talk him out of getting payback by suggesting that he try to get the person to admit instead. The next day, Kelley walks into science class and demands that one of the bullies say what they did. The mean kid throws acid in Kelley's face to kill him for saying that he killed the person, but it's his face that melts right away, and Kelley runs away. That night, Sarah, who is seeing one of the bullies, tells him what she saw at the funeral. Kelley getting sick after eating those leaves. They think that Kelley's weak spot is the weeds. A few are picked to use against him. In the afternoon, Kelley sees two of the bullies and their dad Gus on the soccer field. He faces them next and uses an electric drill on his lap when he tries to spray him with a green liquid made from grave weeds. He stops fighting when Dominique tells him to, and then Gus goes after the sheriff and takes his gun. The bullies spray Kelley with things that make him weak and then tell his dad to shoot him. At the end of the fight, Gus shoots Kelley in the head. There is a piece of Gus's clothes still in Kelley's stomach, so the bullet kills both him and his son. Dominique says that Kelley killed everyone and then gets up without getting hurt. She tells him she will break up with him if he doesn't go with Red Elk and do a ritual that will take away his power. He finally gives up and lowers his gun. After that, the sheriff and Red Elk take them to Pfluger's grave to do the rite. Dominique tells him that everything will be okay. Kelley goes through a lot of pain during the rite, but it doesn't hurt him because the power has been with him for so long that it's part of him. Killing him is the only way to get rid of the power. Kelley takes off his chains and tries to run away with Dominique, but a police officer shoots them. While Dominique dies right away, Kelley is able to stay alive thanks to his power. He tries to help her but fails. To give up his power and accept death, he eats Pfluger's heart. His power leaves him, and he sees a slideshow of all the deaths he has saved. Then he falls down and dies, a bullet hole in his head. Dominique wakes up in an ambulance and gets better right away.